faster for this one. Okay, so hey everybody, welcome. No, I'll just give it a sec, wait for Tux to load himself in. And there we go, does do so. Okay, so hey everybody, welcome back to the winRAR eSports Dota 2 Weekly. And we are just about to get underway with this game. This is game 1 of our grand final, which is going to be a best of 3 set between Team winRAR and Infused. winRAR going to be over on the Radiant side, and Infused going to be over on the Dire. As always, I am Baseskip bringing you guys this game, and looking forward to some more exciting Dota 2 action coming up in just a second. So, well, coming up right now, I'm not sure what that was about. It's getting a little bit late for me, guys, so if things start to slip a little bit and start to get a little bit rusty around the edges, then I hope you'll bear with me. So winRAR going to start us off with a ban on the Shadow Demon and a Bat Rider. In fact, a reminder that Silencer has made it through into the competitive pool at this point, and Undying and Nyx actually going to be banned out by Infused. So Magnus is going to make it through, but as will his buddy Darkseer, and the Rubik there as well. If Infused would like, Keeper of Light and Wisp as well both make it through into the pool. So there's some potential for some CK Wisp or even some Coddle PL in this game. And yeah, thanks to Hadzi, we are just waiting around for stream delay for you guys in chat to catch up. So Infused, there's tons of options for them right now. There's Coddle, there's Wisp, there's Darkseer, and they're going to go for Silencer. So going for the entertaining pick, going for the crowd pleaser, I think. And hopefully something that will work out. I don't know if he's necessarily strong enough to warrant being sort of this first pick, but we're going to see it played regardless, and Infused maybe playing to the crowd a little bit there. So a nice pickup, frankly, to have against the Magnus. Helps shut down his initiation potential. And if you've got fast fingers, you can prevent a reverse polarity. Luna going to be the choice here by Infused. So I think winRAR, we've seen them run CK Wisp earlier in the tournament, and I think it would be a fairly good game to go for it right now. So we'll have to see if that's going to be the choice. Luna quite susceptible to relocate ganks. And Silencer, not a whole lot that he can do. He can help out by throwing out the global sounds and preventing the CK initiation, but it'll be difficult, especially if he is the target of the relocate gank. And the relocate cooldown significantly shorter than the global sounds, so it doesn't really help out too much. And winRAR, they go for the Wisp, but is there a question about whether it's going to be the CK? It's actually going to be Lifestealer this game, so maybe considering the question of the global sound shutting down the relocate ganks a little bit, they're going to go for the Nyx, who is going to be able to rage off the sounds, which is great. The interaction with global sounds and magic immunity is as such. If you are in magic immunity when the global sounds pops, you'll be silenced. If you are silenced, if you are already silenced and you pop the BKB, then you'll be able to dispel the global sounds. So the Lifestealer has some pretty good options up his sleeve as far as that goes. And Gyrocopter going to be picked up here by Infused. So potentially looking to offensively tri-lane to try and deal with Team winRAR's fairly weak defensive try at the moment. Lifestealer quite strong in a defensive tri-lane, though Wisp doesn't really bring all that much to the table, and those heroes that would normally have been seen in the first ban phase a little while ago are going to make it through the second ban, and I don't know if Keeper of the Light is going to be making it through, Darkseer already having been banned out. And Infused lanes for them right now, we will have to see. Silencer could be heading towards mid, and Gyrocopter has all the flexibility in the world as well, so it's kind of difficult to lock them down. I think we'll have to wait until we get further on into the draft. And as far as things go for winRAR, they could potentially offensively tri-lane if they feel that Infused have left themselves open, and then Magnus probably just going to be heading towards mid. So Wisp and Lifestealer probably going to be partnered regardless, waiting for a +1 to join their ranks, and Magnus more than likely just going to be soloing. We're going to see a Disruptor ban out here from winRAR, so getting rid of the obvious counters to the relocate ganks, and whenever you get the Wisp, you do need to be making full use of the relocate. Otherwise, he is not necessarily dead weight, but not as helpful as he definitely has the potential to be. So Infused are going to opt to ban out the Keeper of the Light here. Just more pesky heroes being removed from the pool, and if Infused are looking for that offensive tri-lane, getting rid of the Keeper of the Light is a pretty good option.
10 seconds remaining.
winRAR, there aren't really any other big things that they need to deal with as far as countering Wisp ganks. Removing the disruptor from the field is a good choice, and the Shadow Demon has already been banned out as well. Infused right now, pretty damage heavy, but a little bit disable light. They do have some silences and some slows and some pseudo disable, but no real hard disable. just yet. So we'll see if they look to grab something as we head further into the draft. Rubik is still here, though I think it might be banned out by winRAR unless they choose to pick it immediately coming out of this phase, since Infused do still have space for another support. And Clop's going to be the ban. So unless they pick it coming right out of here, I wouldn't be too surprised to see Infused take it. It gives them a little bit more disable, it gives them that deterrent against the Magnus as well. And they've already got a couple of tools right now to deal with the Lifestealer, especially with the call down. Does now go through magic immunity properly, so they're going to have that slow to help kite around the Nakes a little bit. If they're looking for another support, Infused, if the Rubik is taken, then Bane wouldn't be a bad choice either, all things considered, though they would maybe have to think twice if the Rubik is taken here by winRAR. And both teams still looking for solos. Puck has managed to make it through into the pool, as has the Templar Assassin, only the Clop being banned out of that trio there. So, winRAR, what's it going to be? I would like to see the Rubik pick up, frankly, but it's no secret that I'm a big fan of Rubik, and I think it would be nice to help cover what Team winRAR have going on right now. Though they could look to go perhaps something a little bit more defensive if they think they're going to be tri-lined against with something like the Jakiro, or even more offensive. They've got the Lifestealer, who has potential set up for someone like a Lina or a Leshrac if they're looking for that front foot forward pickup, but it's actually going to be the Rubik here. So I don't know if any of you are listening to the stream. I can't actually see any of you in the viewer list, though you might be there. So who knows, maybe there's some people in the game tuned in 2 minutes delayed and I had a small amount of impact, though I doubt it, frankly. So Clockwork's going to be picked up here by Infused. A fairly typical offlaner, not really a normal solo. So I think Infused is going to be running a defensive tri-lane because of that pickup here. And then it'll probably be Luna as the carry, Gyrocopter or Silencer as the mid, and then just looking for that final true support. It might not necessarily be the Bane, especially if Silencer or Gyrocopter are going to be the secondary support. They need to get a degree more farm than... they need to get at least a little bit of farm, and the Bane is also sort of in that category of wanting farm as a support. So we might just see a hard support pickup from them. There are still some options left in the pool, though we're starting to scrape the bottom of the barrel a little bit. winRAR right now just looking for their last solo, more than likely, and Puck and TA are both still in the pool, so some fairly strong options there. And yeah, that's about it. They could also go for something like a Brewmaster, though this last solo, it pretty much needs to be an offlaner unless they want to bump the Magnus over there, or run an offensive tri-lane up towards the top lane, which they could potentially do, though it comes down to a question of execution and whether or not they feel that they can win these lanes convincingly. If it's going to be an offensive tri-lane, then we might even see the Nature's Prophet as the pickup from them right now. So what's it going to be, Team winRAR? What else have they run over the course of the day? We've been watching them a couple of times. We saw an Invoker pickup today that wasn't from them. It was against them, and we saw some very legendary Sunstrikes. So a nice job there from Love From Above, from a team whose name I'm not going to attempt to pronounce. You guys can check it out on the bracket. And winRAR is going to be the Nature's Prophet, so it might potentially be the offensive tri-lane. It could just be Tux in the jungle to start things off, and then heading up whenever he needs to prevent some pressure on the tower. And Sand King going to round off the lineup for Infused, so adding some more wombo combo teamfight to the call down plus global silence plus eclipse, plus the Clockwork is not bad as an AoE hero either. Can have some pretty big fights going the way of Infused, and winRAR a lot more pick-off oriented, especially with the Wisp, though no slackers as far as teamfight goes, especially with that Magnus picked up. So we're going to be getting underway with game 1 of our best of 3 grand final in just a second, just waiting on Infused, the last 2 people to pick up their heroes. And looks like they may have gone AFK during the draft, so it'll just be a second, guys. We will jump into the game in just a second, though we'll probably see a pause if they're still AFK. And I'm just going to take this opportunity to pop something up, so sorry about that, guys. You're going to see that on the stream, and then I'm going to have to manually do my transitions to get into the game. So looks like everybody is here. So over on the side of Infused, we're going to have Coldy playing the Luna, Misfit Love going to be on the Silencer, Lazarin is going to be on the Sand King, we've got Zinzix on the Gyrocopter, and Hads is going to be on the Clockwork. Over on the side of winRAR, no big surprises, Vicus is going to be playing the Magnus again today, as Laura is going to be on the Wisp, Clays is going to be on the Lifestealer, Creatret on the Rubik, and that leaves Tux to play our Nature's Prophet. And Lazarin doesn't ring a bell as far as Dota commentaries go, though I have seen him previously. So we've got a little bit of chat there from Tux. We got the Treant scouting out, and Infused going for a level 1 smoke gank right now. They're going to get the wraparound. Is there a ping out? winRAR, there's the cut through. Misfit Love jumps forward. He's got the last word, but looks like winRAR going to be able to just retreat themselves back to the tower. So Infused walk away empty-handed. They do manage to ward up Magic Bush. So yeah, we'll see how this all works out as far as their lanes go. Looks like they're just trying to make life a little bit easier for Hads down in this bottom lane. And Clockwork, not necessarily an enormously strong offlaner, but does do quite well, so giving him that minor advantage to start things off is going to help. And we've also got a ward over on the pole camp right now. From Infused, we've got some scribbling, we've got some pings, but we're going to be getting underway in just a second. It's going to be a defensive tri lane from winRAR, so that means Tux is just going to be jungling / offlaning. We do normally see him actually head up towards the offlane to start things out to try and soak up a little bit of XP, though he does always have the option to go into the jungle if things start to go badly. Coldie, nothing too non-standard about his build to start things off, and Lazarin actually just chilling out on mid right now, has some sentries up to try and do any de-warding if it's necessary. The Tux doesn't have any obs at the moment. And speaking of observer wards, they're actually just in the inventory of Ezreal right now, so hopefully we'll see some rune vision up before the 2-minute rune does spawn. And just the Treants heading up and around, looking to pull the wave back right now, so very similar to what a lone druid would be doing. And looks like Tux might be successful here. The one Treant already dropping low, and Lazarin could throw out a Bar Strike here if they're feeling antsy. Oh, nice pull across. Actually, if they can kill these Treants, well, they even just use the neutrals to get the aggression there. That's really nicely played by Infused. And just knowing perfectly how the aggro priority works, so knowing that knowing that their creeps would actually go for the neutrals over going for the Treants. So Tux, rebuked on top lane, is going to make his way down towards the small camp, which is actually being warded up. So he's going to have a pretty tough time to start the game out. Though the Nature's Prophet can look to work a medium camp or something like that to get going. But yeah, Tux, he walks up and he's, well, what the hell is this? Puts a ping out on the small camp and just walks his way around to the large camp, which is unfortunately Hellbears at the moment, which is, well, Hellbears or Ursas, which really, really suck for Nature's Prophet to start out on. So Tux, cursing his luck to start this game out, though it's not going to slow him down by too much. And Hads actually manages to grab himself a little bit of EXP underneath the tower right now, so winRAR losing control of the lane equilibrium with the pole camp being blocked out. And I don't believe they actually have any sentries up right now. No, they do not, so a little bit unfortunate for them. And yeah, we've got some pings out on the camps, well, on the hard camp as well, on this, well, on the pole camp and the hard camp, also blocked out by that Magic Bush ward. We do finally have Ezreal making his way down to the 2-minute rune, pops down a ward, and manages to pick up the double damage. So denying that one to mid, and Zinsik's going to have to go home empty-handed. As far as the mid lane farm goes, Gyrocopter ahead by a little bit at the moment, though we've got the bottle flying out. We've got the bottle waddling out right now for Valkis in just a second, so we're still keeping that fairly tied up right now. There's still two bottle charges up on Zinsik's, and he's using the flak cannon every single time he has the opportunity. I've got some sentry wards picked up for Ezreal, but these wards have already made it through half their duration, and the courier's going to have to make another trip out as well. So this is a lot of EXP being denied the way of winRAR, and Infused just continuously running pulls up on this top lane. They haven't, well, yet found level 2 on their supports, so it looks like they haven't actually been successful in the pulls through. Though an indicator of that would be damage on the tower, but it hasn't actually been the case. So I guess just splitting XP two ways, slowing them down a little bit, and they do both manage to grab level 2 right now, though it's not hugely significant levels for either hero. It's a point in Sandstorm and a point in Glaives of Wisdom. So they do need to, they are sort of odd level heroes, getting more potent whenever they get, 1, 3, 5, 7, so forth. And also obviously 6 for both of them is a pretty big pickup. So it looks like Infused actually going to be going for a push right now. They're going to whale down the siege creep and the range creep as quickly as they can to get the equilibrium pushing in their favor. Coldie going to try and find all of the last hits in amongst this, and doing a pretty good job so far, though Lazarin jacks one in the middle there, seeing that Coldie probably wouldn't have been able to get it. They're now going to try and put some damage down on the tower, but the instant reaction is for Tux to walk himself in. Misfit Love doesn't have a setup disable for Lazarin, unfortunately, so Looks like Tux is going to be absolutely fine just to come up and soak this nice big wave of EXP. And you might even have the 1200 range indicator out right now, just fishing to make sure that he gets all this Misfit love. Tanks up the tower a little bit too long, but fine to get it off there. And Clay is down on bot. Looks like he's farming his way towards potentially a hand of Midas. 1400 gold up. We might see the Midas recipe up on the courier quite soon, though it's already making a trip out. So it might just have to be the completed Midas flying out. We've got Rubik making his way up towards top, but the tower is going to fall. Last hit taken by the Dire, and Infused now chasing forward. Nice Sprout there. Ground Sprout as well from Tux, buying Creatret enough space to escape. So bravo to Tux. Well played. And now Rubik just going to salve himself up and head back towards the middle lane. Status on mid. Zinsik's doing a really good job. He's bottle crowing as well, just to keep Vicus pushed out of the lane. The 4-minute rune, as we heard the triumphant squeaks of Wisp, was an illusion picked up by him, and the lens flare on that hero getting a little bit ridiculous there. But anyway, I hope you guys saw that, otherwise I'm going to sound crazy. Coldy has opted to pick up a Ring of Aquila, so showing a little bit that Infused are looking to take this remaining tower up on top fairly soon, leveraging the Bazzi to go for some more pushing power, and getting that early gold up on the supports is quite good, especially since I mentioned in the draft that Silencer as a support likes to get some levels, likes to get some farm, but Sand King is in a fairly similar position. He wants some Arcane Boots, he would love a Blink Dagger, and the tower gold is going to help them get off to that good start. So I think a nice decision from Infused. And I may be reading into it too much. It could just be Coldy's typical Luna build. Though there are a bunch of items that Luna has a choice for as far as the early game goes. You can go Drum, you can go Wand, you can go Aquila. You're probably only going to go 2 of the 3, and if you're going to ditch one, it's more than likely not going to be the Magic Wand. Hads actually has his energy booster already picked up, so doing a pretty good job. And just in terms of not dying and soaking up some farm. Down on bot, 6-1 Urn going to be camped out by Creatret. It's the 3rd Urn spawning down on bot, so he's going to be able to get rid of that one quite soon. We've got the line drawn across right now from Tux. He suspects that Hads might be looking for something, though without level 6, I don't think the Clockwork is going to be doing anything just yet. It might have just been a random line drawn by him there. Tux going to TP himself down towards bot. He's got some Gloves of Haste picked up, and Clay's already with that Hand of Midas and dropped off right now. So Nake's aiming a little bit further towards the late game than the Luna is right now. Double damage picked up on the Rubik, but Hads, he's not falling for any of this. He's actually going to throw a rocket on mid, where we've got a smoke gank coming in from Infused. It's only a rank 2 Burrow Strike up on Lazar, and the homing missile now flying out. It can tank the tower for a little bit, but Vicus all the way back. Looks like he's going to be more or less fine. He comes forward now, weighing his options. The supports are still missing, but there's not necessarily any way to know that they are. So still waiting there patiently in the smoke. It is going to wear off in just a second, and looks like it might be a relatively unsuccessful gank. Infused looks like they're going to run forward anyway, but Vicus very quickly changes tack there. And in the end, the only damage dealt is 2 tower pot shots on Lazarin. Had's trying to slow down this push a little bit down on bot, since Team winRAR are looking for the tower exchange. They've got some wards down, and a sentry plopped by Infused, but they need Misfit Love to go for this. Will winRAR be able to come across and potentially punish? It depends on how many misses Misfit Love gets, and that's one. That's not a second one, and does manage to finish off the ward there. So they know where the ward is, since Laz actually dropped the obs before he put down the sentry. They needed the obs to have vision of this observer, so it's not necessarily the wrong sequence, but it does mean that winRAR know exactly where this obs is. Misfit Love, line drawn, going up and around, going to spot out Kriya. I think they both just caught a glimpse of one another there. We've got a whole bunch of ping spam going out. And Hads, does he have level 6? Yes, he does. Plays also level 6, going to be able to infest himself up into a full health creep. And looks like he's going to be fine just to make his way out. And now pops out Misfit Love. The target rage popped as well. Hads is going to be able to get the cogs. Does manage to bump Clays away, but one more right click is all they need, and the bonus move speed from the Wisp. No! Burrow Strike through. Misfit Love still just barely alive. The Spirit's nicely played by Lazarin, dropping low. Where's the hook shot? What is going on right now? Oh, I clicked on the wrong hero. Where did Hads hook shot? Looks like he bought a little bit of space and nobody dies down in this bottom lane. Actually, at the same time, mid did go down. Looks like we had Coldy coming in. And it wasn't actually an assist on Coldy. We'll have to see in just a sec. He got the kill, and it was an assist on the Gyrocopter. So 2 heroes heading towards mid and managing to kill off the mag while my attention was turned towards bot. But Infused, good recovery, frankly, down on bot. Weren't really in a position to try and take a kill as soon as the initiation happened on the Silencer. And nicely played by Clays to buy enough space for the Rage to wear off. Zinzix chasing in after Crit right now. They need this Tether Stun to lift up into the air. The Rocket Barrage still doing some good damage. The call down and over the top. That's going to pop him immediately, and Tox looks like he's going to follow up shortly after. Still fairly low on life. Zinzix chasing right now, but the open wound's up on him, turning himself around. Still has some phase, but the Rocket Barrage enough to burst down the Nakes. Now they want Eslor. They've got the Rocket flying in over the top. He's dropping low. We've got the Ribbit coming back into the fight, but the Rocket, oh, the Flak Cannon, I think, actually finding that kill. So nicely played there by Gyro. He's not done just to get the silence up, and unfortunately the Cogs keeping everyone locked in there. Viking's going to skewer himself in over the top, but Kriya trying to escape. Ultra kill for the Gyro, now blocked in by Laws. And TP back down towards bot by Ezelor. But one more homing missile on him. Are they going to finally be able to find a punish? Everyone's going to be able to respawn in just a second with the tower being tamped out quite well. And the Rocket Barrage Rampage for Zinzix. GG Go Next is going to be called by winRAR. That is a 10-minute good game called by them. So what play, what a couple of minutes, and winRAR eager to get into the next one. Again, both teams are undefeated so far in this, well, up to this point in the tournament. Since it's a best of one single elimination. But yeah, very quick first game going out there. Only 2-7 the score. I think far from unrecoverable for winRAR, but a long way back to victory. And Gyrocopter, with all of those kills, was extraordinarily fat. He just spent a lot of gold to buy back as well, but we've got a couple more hits being traded back and forth. Looks like Clays maybe wants the win on his record here. And wants another kill on Misfit Love as well. Though it looks like he might not be able to get it. Misfit Love still just booking it away, and that last word gonna disarm him. Oh, Misfit Love turns around, and that is a very sad life stealer who's gonna disconnect off in just a second. So we've got 30 seconds until the game completes. I'm gonna take this opportunity to say that this is the Adroits.Tt eSports Dota 2 Weekly. This is week 3 of this weekly tournament, and that everybody should sign up for the 4th week, which will be, and the sign-on should be live quite soon after this grand final finishes. As far as supporting both Adroits and TT Esports, for Adroits, their Twitter is @AdroitsTweets, YouTube is youtube.com/AdroitsTV, where you'll find all of the VODs for this event, and their Facebook, if you want to give them a like, is facebook.com/Adroits. For TT Esports, it's twitter.com, it's Twitter. For TT Esports, Twitter is @TT Esports, and Facebook is facebook.com/TT Esports. I've been Baseskip, thanks everyone for tuning in. If you have any feedback for me as far as my casting goes, leave me a message in chat or send me an email at baskipdota@gmail.com. But we are going to be getting into game 2 of this best of 3 set very, very soon. So stay tuned. Thanks everyone for tuning in.